Okay, I've got a question. What do meddling moms, a rundown improv theater, and a parent-driven dating app have in common?
Well, somehow, believe it or not, they are all key plot points in 2024's holiday mismatch. We've got a lot to talk about, Jennifer.
We do, Josh. We'll unwrap it all in this episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Well, Countdown to Christmas just rolls on, and we've got a full plot recap of a brand new Hallmark movie classic, maybe in the making. And we will give you our bottom line hot takes in our Gold or Coal segment a little bit later. But first, here is the plot summary for Holiday Mismatch, brand new out on Hallmark Channel. New retiree Barbara joins a holiday committee in her town, but clashes with long-standing member Kath. When they realize their kids have started dating, they conspire to break up the happy couple.
Okay, so we open to a calendar flipping over to December, and Barbara, played by Beth Broderick, is breaking out her fine Christmas china and decking her halls. She is recently retired and trying to find her place in this new phase of life. So she signed up for a Christmas committee, or to be on it, at the Chamber of Commerce to keep herself busy. She gets to, the town hall at 9 when the meeting was supposed to start, but at 9:09, Kath comes bustling in and says it's a loose 9. So right out of the gate, Kath, who's played by Carolyn Ray, and Barbara, played by Beth Broderick, are very kind of like odd couple vibes. Nothing really similar with how they operate. And yes, they were the aunts in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, if you ever watched that show. So fun to see them back together. Barb sticks her foot in her mouth immediately, insulting regular Christmas sweaters, and says, I didn't know it was an ugly Christmas sweater party. And they're like, no, this is just what we wear. Festive. Whoops. This is the problem, because my family used to do an ugly Christmas ornament or tacky Christmas ornament exchange. And what if one man's ugh is another man's love, It's risky. You got to go full tilt then and make it obvious.
You really do need to go full tilt. And Barbara is very uptight, very hoity-toity, I think would be fair to say. And her Christmas decor is very upscale. She is not in the bargain bin at Hobby Lobby like most of us. She is very Balsam Hill, very Pottery Barn, Anthropology, very high-end, I think.
Very, not a lot of bright colors, very monochromatic and very light neutrals, very bougie, gigantic nutcrackers in her kitchen. It's beautiful, but it's not a zany aesthetic, let's say. So we meet the rest of the ragtag group of volunteers, the other guys, and their motto is, we deploy Christmas joy. And they say it's for Brooklyn, but it's clearly not Brooklyn, New York, right? So where is this town?
Yeah.
They showed a image, like a B-roll, and it looked like any tiny town on Hallmark's backlot or something. But anyways. Okay, so Barb is, as you would say, a fish out of water, Josh, and she's trying to find a place to help, but the teams already have most things taken care of. Barb and Kath exchange some passive-aggressive comments because they are a sitcom odd couple, and that's how they do things. Did you see the giant creepy Santa in Barb's garage?
Yeah.
What's that about? Shane. I don't know. I guess she does. Maybe there's a deeper story here. Maybe she used to be into zany because there was a giant creepy Santa. But we're back at Barb's house. We meet her son Shane, and he's not a business guy. He's more of an artist, and he owns a rundown improv theater that they're like not super excited about. They think he could really, has more potential for other things. But here we are. Barb thinks Shane is lonely. Will she meddle in his love life? Only time will tell. Kath is looking at an app called Merry Matchmakers. We should add that to our list of apps and websites for the season. So parents can set their kids up, which is beyond bonkers. And she signed up her daughter to find a man and is, yes, you guessed it, meddling. The festive team then meets up to make turkey supper sandwiches for the senior center as one of their little festive tasks that they do with the committee. And it leads to a sandwich making competition. Now, I judged the sandwich at first because it sounded kind of gross, but I don't know. It looked kind of good in the end. What did you think?
I thought the sandwich looked delicious because, dear listener, it was bread, right? Obviously, but then it looked like it had turkey and then a layer of stuffing and some gravy. And I think there might have been like a cranberry chutney. Think like Thanksgiving dinner in a sandwich form. Like you, Jennifer, at first glance, I was a little hesitant, but the more I thought about it, I was like, actually, that's kind of a brilliant idea.
Well, and I know people make turkey sandwiches with leftovers every year, but personally, in my house, we never have stuffing left over because I blow through that quick. So the fact that they had the stuffing, I think they called it like a binding agent, it does elevate the sandwich. So I was kind of here for it.
Yeah, I'll
Anyways,
take that over mayonnaise any day.
yeah, for sure. The moms unknowingly set their kids up with each other on this Merry Matchmakers app because Barb uses it for Shane as well. They have good banter, and so the kids, when they meet, they're like, hey, we're going to fake date through the holidays to get our moms off our backs. Now, you know I love a fake dating trope if you've been around here at all. We did just see one a few movies ago this season. Could have used them a little spread out a little bit, but that's okay. So what could possibly go wrong? And here we go. They come to the Christmas carnival together and they're flirty, and she introduces Kath, her mom, to Shane, her new beau. When Barb, Shane's mom, walks up and they figure out their kids are dating each other, gasp, this will never do. We cannot stand for it. They're terrible for each other. So the moms concoct a plan to break the kids up. I'm going to call them kids even though they're full adults just for the sake of the synopsis. Okay. So Kath and her daughter and Shane go pick out a Christmas tree. So Kath's plan is, I'm just going to be like really passive aggressive and demanding of this boy to make him crumble. So she's like, Shane, here, use your muscles. Do this, do that. It was kind of like barking orders at him, which would be a turnoff. I can assume, Josh, you can speak to this as a man. Would you maybe not be a fan of that kind of reaction from your new girlfriend's mom that you just met and she's already giving you like stuff to do?
Well, certainly this early into the relationship, they've only been together, fake together, for mere minutes, and already her mom is being very demanding and pushing. I mean, part of being the guy in any relationship like that, I think, is doing a little bit of that kind of thing, but with time, not right out of the gate. And so I think that was what she was going for, trying to be offensive real quick.
Yeah. Because that's not her usual personality. She's usually very kooky and lovey-dovey and funny. So Captain hands Shane pliers to cut the tree down, which I thought was funny. She's like, I brought these. And much to her chagrin, though, Shane and, was it Lauren was the daughter? Laura and Lauren. They get along swimmingly and they work together to figure out how to wrap up this tree to take it home. They get it home to the mom and daughters, and a Christmas rat climbs out of the tree. And it jumps on Shane. It's a whole physical comedy bit, but Kath's like, be macho and go get it. And he's less enthused about this. So even though in the end, Lauren and Shane bonded more than ever. So Kath's plan, flop, didn't work. You can't break these kids up. Barb's like, all right, put me in, coach. I'm ready. So she is going to, quote unquote, be up in their grill and invite Lauren to Shane's improv show without telling him, because Lauren is easily embarrassed and doesn't want to be on stage or the center of attention or anything. So they go to the improv show, and turns out when Shane invites Lauren on stage to be a part of the bit, she loves it, and it's a big hit. Who would have thought? Strike two for the moms. It's not going well. We're back at another Christmas event, and one of the team members gets Santa stage fright about being Santa, and the moms band together to give him the confidence boost he needs, and they declare something you may have heard: teamwork makes the dream work. They should put it on a Hallmark card, maybe. And they form a united front, and they're like, hey, this worked today. Let's be a united front to break up Shane and Lauren together instead of trying to work against one another. Okay, up to this point, Josh, what are you thinking about this movie?
I think it's kind of a good concept. I'm finding it to be entertaining. I like the banter. I like the dynamic between the two moms, right? I think their relationship was just as compelling as the romantic leads in this movie, honestly. And I think that was sort of the point of it, right? It was built
was the
around
A
these
plot.
two women. Yeah, they were the A couple. But I thought it was really, I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. What about you?
I was very into it out of the gate. Yeah, I was like, let's go. I'm buying into all of this. Let's see where it goes. So the moms are together figuring out how to break up their kids, and they're reminiscing about their babies. And then they're like, you know what we can do? We're going to use a baby face generator to predict what our grandchild will look like. And they think this will break them up real quick. Lauren and Shane walk in on them doing Christmas karaoke together, the moms, and it's very funny. And instead of running away, Lauren and Shane do karaoke together and seem to be catching feelings. And I guess they weren't even that freaked out by the baby face thing, so they just laugh it off. Lauren is going to help Shane work on a grant application to save his rundown theater. A, because we can't have a Hallmark movie without some form of real estate or business development involved. And B, because she's a big, bad architect boss lady. And I guess that's what they do, write grant applications. No, not that I would know, but no, they don't. But she's going to help anyways. And she is very stressed out, very busy. That's why she's not in a relationship, really, for real, because she's building 3D models of these like high rises and things she's working on. And again, not that I would know, but nobody does that anymore. That's like 2000 and late. But yeah, here we are. Okay. So Shane tells his brother about the fake dating, but he says, I might be catching feelings after all. Well, turns out brother's a leaky faucet. He goes and blabs to mom about the fake dating and leaves out the part where Shane was like, oh, but I do think I'm catching feelings for her. He didn't tell her that part. He's like, yeah, they're fake dating. It's all a ruse just to get you guys off their back. So then that's Barb. Barb tells Kath in a game of telephone. And when they get on the karaoke Christmas trolley that night, they're like, oh, no, it's going to break Lauren's heart because they don't know that she's in on it. They just think it's Shane being mean to her for, why would he do that? Reasons unknown. Why would they fake date anyways, I guess? So Shane, while they're on the trolley, says, hey, I love spending time with you, and maybe we should date for real. And Lauren hesitates because, again, she's a busy architect boss lady, but they're going to give it a try. They smooch while the moms are looking on, and they're like, oh, no, this is just not good. We got to get to the bottom of this. So Lauren's mom tries to tell her in a roundabout way, hey, I just don't think Shane's like a good guy for you. And Lauren freaks out, gets super defensive, and says, basically, you need to kick rocks, mom, and worry about your own sad life. This is really, the lying, once again in a Hallmark movie this season, is really causing a rift in these relationships.
Yeah.
It's almost like we shouldn't be big fat liars, but then we wouldn't have a movie, right? So there's been a build up to this big event all year or all season, and it's the Nutcracker Ball. So Lauren and Shane were going to go together to the Nutcracker Ball and be super official couple. The festive team has a group hug, and Lauren's like, I need to stay at work to work on this deadline, but you know what? I'm going to go to the Nutcracker Ball and see my boo, Shane. At the ball, Lauren tells Shane's mom the truth, how they're pretending to date, but now they're actually falling for each other. And Shane's mom, Barb, spills the beans that Shane is selling his theater and not doing the great application to try to save it. And for some reason, Lauren is upset about that. I don't know why, but she's upset because he didn't tell her something. And then Lauren's mom, Kath, comes bustling into the convo and says, you guys aren't a good match. Lauren declares this is too much drama. I'm done with it all. And she's going to go leave to go back to work because she's a big, bad architect lady. Oh, this is all at the Nutcracker Ball. People are trying to be dressed up and bougie and have fun.
Honestly.
No fun's being had.
Yeah, no
She
fun.
is peeved. Kath and Barb then argue at the ball, and Barb quits the Christmas committee. Oopsie doodle. Now, it must be like December 23rd by this point, so really quitting the Christmas committee. I don't know that it's really that big of a deal, but it was a big deal to them. What did you think about this whole fallout, Josh?
Yeah, this whole scene was whiplashy in terms of we were really moving the plot forward. We were unraveling all of the deception and the lies and the trickery and the shenanigans and the whole nine yard. And then there was also the added layer of Barb and Kath having their moment and Barb getting offended and being like deuces and the whole nine yard. It just, there was a lot. If you went to grab, say, a snack or, you know, texted a friend or something while you were watching this scene, you missed a lot, and you would have been toast the rest of the movie.
Yeah, a lot happened in a short amount of time. You're totally right. So earlier in the movie, the Christmas committee had drawn for Secret Santa, drawn names. Now, there were only 4 of them, right? So
Just get everybody a gift. I mean, come on.
not super suspicious, but Barb had drawn Kath's name earlier in the movie, and she's like, ugh. That was before they liked each other and then fell out. But turns out, remember I said that the Santa had stage fright, and the women banded together to kind of talk him up and give him confidence. And they were reminiscing about how, this is so important. The kids will always remember what they asked for Christmas, yada, yada, yada. Well, Kath had asked for a not easy bake oven, a little baker's oven when she was younger, and she didn't get it for whatever reason. Well, Barb, no. Yes, yeah. Barb. Again, the names are not my strong suit. Barb had drawn Kath's name and had, even though they were in this fight, she had she got the gift to Kath through the Christmas committee via her husband.
Yeah.
And she had bought her own little baker's oven. And Kath is like, shoot, I am a Grinch. I need to go apologize. The moms reconcile. They'll do one more medal. Okay, just one more little bit of medal. They go apologize to their kids separately. And so Kath and Lauren are good again. Barb goes to talk to Shane at the theater. And they reconcile. And I really like this scene, and I'll probably talk about it later. But I think this was really nice. And Shane, guess what? He's deciding to keep the theater because some things are worth fighting for. Much like his relationship with Lauren, they all reconcile. They all spend Christmas together. And Barb is going to do a retreat. But they're like, oh, are you going to lay out in the sun? She's like, no, I don't do sun. And then she makes a joke. I don't know, Kath makes a joke. What are you, a witch? Because they were the witches on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I thought that was very funny. And it was a Merry Christmas, one and all.
It's time for Gold or Coal.
Okay, it is time for our Gold or Coal segment. If you're new to the podcast, Josh and I each bring 3 gifts to the pod. If there is more gold, it is a merry match. If there is more coal, it's a misconnection. Because, they had that dating app beginning. Anyways, if it's a tie, it's just going to be a Merry Christmas. Josh, I'm coming to you first.
Sure. So gold for me out of the gate. The moms here, the meddling moms. Sometimes a meddling mom can be too much. And it can be a distraction to the plot in some of these. But I love that they actually hung the whole thing on these meddling moms. And like I said, the development of their relationships was probably more believable for me than the development of the relationship between the romantic leads in this one. But I still like that. I just thought that the 2 moms here, Barb and Kath, they felt believable. They felt like real women. They felt like they each had their own baggage and their own stories and the whole 9 yards. And I liked them as characters. So gold for me.
Very good. And I agree. I will give some gold for the scene when Barb goes and reconciles with Shane, because it was a really sweet moment. And she was not like super soft mom. Like, you can tell she was more stern and more like direct probably, but she softened her edges. And we get a lot of daddy-daughter relationships or mother-daughter relationships. We rarely see a mother and son dynamic in these movies, and I just really bought it. I thought it was genuine. I thought it was a very sweet moment. And knowing that they both care about each other so much, they just approach things very differently, but could reconcile in the end. I loved it. That was great. Gold.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that that's a very true-to-life thing, too, which I appreciate. I think a lot of guys, when they're that age, need to have that moment of reckoning with their mom where they're like, I am my own person, right? And that's going to have to be the way it is. And if you can't handle that, then we are not going to be able to have a good relationship. And I think it's on the mom in that situation to sort of let her son fly. And I think that that's what we saw in that scene. I thought it was great, too. I am going to give some coal here. And you may totally disagree with this. And I know you love a fake dating trope. I don't think we needed the fake dating trope in this particular movie. Because if you'll remember, they hit it off splendidly when they met each other. It was a great conversation. It was warm and flirty and fun. It was like everything a blind date kind of situation should be. I don't know why they just didn't date. Like, why do they need to fake date? They were a great couple from go. Like, it was just a weird choice for me that they would fake date.
I thought it was mainly because they didn't like the idea that the mom set him up.
Well, yeah, but
They were
still,
trying to get back at the moms. But yeah, that doesn't really make sense. You're right.
both of them had great chemistry, and I thought that they were a good couple from go, and I think they thought they were a good couple from go, so they started fake dating. I was like, we don't need that in this particular one. I think it could
Right, because it still could have been, oh, the moms accidentally set them up. And, well, we can't have that because we don't like each other. We got to break them up.
Yeah,
You could still could have had the rest of the movie without the fake dating part.
exactly.
I agree. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I will give some cool. The whole theater grant application. Are we saving the theater? Are we selling the theater? Who cares?
Who cares?
He could have just worked at the theater. I didn't even care if he owned the theater. I didn't know why. Like, a lot of times you will get somebody dating somebody and they're like, I can help you with this career thing, right? Lauren, being an architect, helping him write grants was a weak connection. I didn't know why she cared that he at one point was going to sell it, other than I guess she felt out of the loop, but they were barely officially dating. Like, that whole thing fell flat for me. I didn't need it.
Yeah.
Why must we always talk about real estate and mergers and acquisitions at the holidays? I do not know.
Well, it was a very forced connection, and it was a forced connection that just did not work, right? And sometimes they do work where someone has a career that's obviously going to benefit the other person. This,
Yeah.
I agree, did not really accomplish that. I'm going to give some gold here. I thought the physical comedy bits that we got throughout of this were really well timed and well needed, and actually added a levity to this thing that I think really served it in the end. I especially love the one where Barbara climbed through the transom window. I mean, that was so out of character for her, but it was really funny the way she just tumbled through the window to get the job done, which is exactly what Barbara would have done to save the day, to get things done, because she was definitely a ball buster of a woman and really good at getting things done. And I think that impressed Kath and helped propel their relationship forward too. So I love the physical comedy bits.
Well, especially that one scene, it showed that Barb was committed to the committee, because that was when they were trying to get the Santa to not have stage fright, right? So they had to work together. And
Yep.
I think she started to realize, oh, maybe we are very different with how we approach things, but if we work together, this might go a little more smoothly. We both bring things to the table, which is great.
Mhm.
My last gift is some gold. I didn't expect to care about the dating relationship, but man, they were so gosh darn appealing. They were
Right.
so cute. They had great chemistry. Now, I'm glad it was the B plot. I don't need to see an A story with them. But I thought they were super cute. So I'm going to give them gold.
I got to ask you, did that guy in this, did he give you Casey Elliott vibes? Like, I thought he was a Casey Elliott doppelganger the entire time I saw him.
I could see that. I did not think that when we watched it, but I can totally see it now. And listeners, if you haven't watched Casey Elliott's on Great American Family, he's been in Destined at Christmas and Destined at Christmas 2, which we loved. And we also reviewed Christmas Wreaths and Ribbons.
Yes, that was our first one this
To a lesser success.
weird title.
Yeah, it's great. We love Casey Elliott. Yeah, he does great things. So maybe this guy's a new up and comer and he can kind of do the same thing.
We'll do a side-by-side picture, because I swear the way that he delivered lines, I was like, this guy could be Casey Elliott's brother. It was really interesting to me. So
Well, let us know in the comments below or on our socials if you think he's a Casey Elliott doppelganger. That'll be fun.
there you go. All right, so bottom line score here, we had 4 pieces of gold, 2 pieces of coal. We are going to call this worth the watch, and Jennifer, a merry match. Final thoughts for you.
That's right. I was excited about this one. I was scared because I was so excited about it. I thought we'd be too nostalgic and too, like, I don't know. I was afraid the nostalgia was the only thing that was going to keep me invested. But this movie totally stands on its own. Yes, you can tell they've worked together for years and they had that chemistry, the moms, but I think it all worked for me. I really enjoyed it. What do you think?
I think it absolutely worked too. You know, I really did not have the Sabrina the Teenage Witch connection that you did, right? And so coming into this, I knew both actresses, but didn't know of their work together. And I thought it stood alone on its own, which is really good and really fortunate. You know, last year we watched Lifetime's, Divas of the 80s, which was this movie that was hung around all of these big personalities from the 80s. And this could have been that, right? But it wasn't. Like, this whole story stood on its own and had its own merits, and both women played these unique roles. And I think it ultimately, at the end of the day, really worked. It was a fun movie. Would I watch it again? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I'll record it every year. That's how I know if I really like one. If I see it's on, I'm like, okay, the season, gotta record it and watch it at least once this year to feel like Christmas. I don't know that I'll do that, but I thought it was really solid. I liked it.
This would be a good movie, I think, to watch with the in-laws, maybe at Thanksgiving. Like, it could be a fun kind of big extended family watch, you know?
Yeah, because you have all those family dynamics and generational things going on, and yeah, we'll see. I think you should start doing that. You know, when we did our Hallmark wine review, you were like, this would go pair well with this kind of event. You need to do that now, pairing things, movies with events.
Well, I think
do that.
that's, because at the end of the day, we've watched, almost 100 of these. We've done almost 100 reviews of Hallmark movies and such.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what would be the circumstance that you would want to watch this? Is this a quiet date night with your significant other? Is this family movie night with the kids? Is this something else? I want to make sure for folks just using this as an on-ramp into the genre. Here's what this might look like in your life. I don't know.
I love it. Now, one thing I do want to ask you real quick. Have we had a Josh's cry count this season?
Well, I will tell you, I have not shed many tears this season, and I don't know what it is. Now, I will say that we've got one coming up, Santa Tell Me, that did have a cry count moment. And so you'll have to stay tuned for that later this week.
Okay. Well, there's a tease right there. I didn't even know that. So we just organically did that, guys. We are totes professional out here. Okay, friends, that's another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
A very special thanks to our good friend Nick Schwartz for our theme song, and of course to all of you for taking the time to listen on your favorite podcast platform or connecting with us on our YouTube channel.
That's right. If you like our podcast, please help us spread the word. It's the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Yeah.
The best way to spread a Christmas podcast is you. Okay. And I love
Real talk.
my friends earlier sent me a screenshot where one of her other friends had talked about Hallmark movies, and she slid into her DMs and she's like, you need to listen to this. Go subscribe on YouTube. So we gained a follower. So, this is how this thing grows. And we just want to have more conversations with you all about these movies. They're a hoot and a half to talk about, and we're so glad you're here. If you ever want to connect with us, everything you need to know is at doyouwatchwhatiwatch.com. Next time, we have added a bonus movie to our lineup. We did not draft this movie organically, but it has such a stellar cast, such a great premise. We just couldn't say no. So it's Santa Tell Me on Hallmark. And here's the plot summary. When Olivia, a successful interior designer, of course, interior designer, finds an old letter from Santa promising she'll meet the love of her life by Christmas Eve and that his name will be Nick, she's stunned to meet not one, but 3 guys named Nick. As she navigates these holiday romances, Olivia also finds herself drawn to her charming coworker Chris, throwing her magical Christmas quest into question. With the clock ticking towards Christmas Eve, Olivia embarks on a heartwarming and humorous journey to uncover her true soulmate. We will have much to discuss, and until next time,
may your days be merry and bright. We'll see you soon.